In this video, we're gonna count down the top 20 things that I could think of at least that I wish I had known or somebody told me before I moved to San Diego. I'm gonna get into all of that plus so much more in this video, but before I do, my name is Wesley Guest and I'm a local real estate agent here in downtown San Diego, but I pretty much cover the entire San Diego County. If you need any help moving to, from, or within San Diego, don't be shy about reaching out to me. My contact information is gonna be down below. And if you enjoy content like this, like about San Diego, the housing market, downtown especially, please subscribe. So kicking off the countdown at number 20, I wish I had paid more attention to the cost of living. I mean, we're all getting squeezed, I think, at this moment. I mean, no matter where you are, pretty much in the entire world. But California, San Diego especially, the cost of living has risen exponentially. Something to keep in mind if you're thinking about moving here, it's not cheap. So moving on to number 19, let's talk about the traffic and commuting. Now, truth be told, when I first came to San Diego, pretty close to 28 years at this point, there was some traffic, but it really wasn't a huge issue, especially in comparison to Los Angeles, to Orange County, other Southern California major cities and counties. It was not that much of an issue. But these days, it's a different story. If you're on the freeway at the wrong times, you can hit substantial freeway traffic. If you're like me and traffic drives you absolutely nuts, you might want to take that into consideration, especially where you're going to live versus where you work in San Diego. Coming in at number 18 on the list is going to be neighborhoods and how different one neighborhood can be from the other. I think when a lot of people think about moving to San Diego, the first thing a lot of people say or they're thinking, most of the time, not all the time, is I want to be by, let's say, the beach. Does that sound familiar? That's awesome. San Diego has some amazing beaches. It's a lot of fun. It's a very enjoyable, it's a nice lifestyle to live by the beach. But just take note, San Diego beaches can be very different, even beaches that are right next to each other. And other neighborhoods as well, and communities. I mean, it doesn't have to be the beach. I mean, anywhere you live. Sliding in at number 17 on our list. I kind of talked a little bit about this in the last point, but we're gonna talk about like the beach and the beach culture. Let's say you do live at the beach or you're gonna visit the beach. There is a strong beach culture. People who live by the beach, love living by the beach. A lot of the time, very strong community ties, very proud of living by the beach, and not shy about making you feel like an outsider sometimes.
He's so holly, he doesn't even know he's holly.
I'd say for the most part, the beach culture is awesome. I love it. I love going out of the sand. I love going to the water. I love to go surfing. I love walking on the boardwalks. But just keep in mind, if you've never lived like in a beach community or beach culture, make sure it's something that you're going to enjoy before you move there. Number 16, let's talk about like Mexican food in San Diego. I heard it was good. It is amazing. California burritos are incredible. Fish tacos. There are so many different options, everything from like taco stands to like Mexican food restaurants, like high-end, something in the middle of the night, depending on what it is you're looking for. Everybody in San Diego, their own favorite breakfast burrito place. There are so many options. Mexican food lives up to the hype. At number 15, I think I wish I would have taken into account, I was a lot younger then, what the job market was at in San Diego and where it was kind of headed. Industries that are absolutely thriving and growing are gonna be like biotech, engineering companies, especially engineering like that support like defense projects. There's gonna be like tech. We're seeing more and more of the biggest names on the planet. Something I really didn't give a lot of thought to way back when, which, in retrospect, I probably should have. Number 14 is something I definitely thought about, and it is an absolutely one of the best things about San Diego is gonna be all the outdoor recreation type of activities and things you can do year round. I mean, you don't really need to check the weather on most days. You can go for hikes, you can go to the beach again, you can head to the parks, you can head to the amusement parks, like we have SeaWorld, the San Diego Zoo, San Diego Wild Animal Park, or I think it's called the Safari Park now. Legoland up in North San Diego. There's so many things you can do outdoors. The weather is so great. All right, at number 13, this is something I probably wouldn't have even thought of because when I think of like wildlife and nature, I think of like land animals, things you know, that kind of stuff. The marine life and the things you can see down near like the beach and the bay and the harbor are amazing. I mean, you can go whale watching. You can go down to, like if you're gonna go down to downtown San Diego, let's say, and there's a lot of other places up and down the San Diego coast, but specifically if you go near like Tuna Harbor, you can see from the Baywalk, you can see like sea lions. And moving to San Diego at number 12 here is something you definitely should be aware of, especially if you enjoy like IPAs or the craft beer scene. So San Diego has a massive craft beer scene. There are tasting rooms now all over the county. So much fun. If you put together, let's say, get some friends together, like on a weekend, go out on a Saturday, get like a little tour together. It is so much fun to go beer tasting. So craft beer scene here in San Diego is incredible. All right, number 11 here. I think this could be a big one if you're new to San Diego, you don't have like the hookup where you're gonna live or stay, and you're just trying to figure it out. It is so much easier to move into, like if you're not, I'm not talking about somebody who's trying to like buy a condo or a house, but if you're looking to rent somewhere, it is so much easier to find like a high-rise, like a newer like apartment complex. Let's say like in downtown San Diego, there's a ton of new apartments that have been built over just the last couple of years. So a lot of them are brand new, but it's so much easier to find a place to live and rent and kind of get your lay of the land there first than to hop on, let's say like Zillow and try to find like a privately owned like condo or an apartment there. There is so much competition right now, rental wise, like on Zillow. It is almost impossible to find a place versus if you're just trying to get your roots in the ground here in San Diego, kind of get a feel for where to go. It is a lot easier to move into or to consider like an apartment, like a high-rise apartment, let's say like in the city. Number 10, nobody ever told me moving to San Diego about all the local events and festivals that happen. For example, have you heard of the waterfront park kind of out in front of Little Italy, like right on San Diego Bay? I feel like almost every weekend there's some kind of like music festival, there's a concert, there's something happening there on the grass. And that's gonna be the case like all over San Diego. Embarcadero Pier has events, the Embarcadero Island has events. There's always something to do. Like any given weekend, you're gonna have multiple options of like fun stuff to do. And that's gonna be for like adults and it's gonna be for like kids. Like there's lots and lots of family, like kid type activities happening as well. Number 9 is definitely an important one to me, and because I'm a big sports fan. So a lot of people, when they talk about San Diego, they say San Diego is not a sports town. That is absolute baloney. I don't know how many San Diego Padres sellout games there have been now this year. The season's only halfway over. There's gonna be a lot more. And so in addition to the San Diego Padres, we have a professional, the Wave soccer team, ton of support. They play at a Snapdragon Stadium. The San Diego State football team is absolutely amazing. They're not in a big time conference, so they don't get a lot of attention like some of the other Southern California teams do, but that looks like that might be changing next year. We have a hockey team, the Goals, which San Diego supports like crazy. Okay, so coming in at number 8 on my list, this is an interesting one. A lot of people get this wrong. I think it's on a lot of people's radars these days, but it wasn't even a few years ago. So when people think of like San Diego, like natural disasters, there's pretty much one major natural disaster you think of. I gotta be honest with you, and I'm gonna knock on wood. I've been through some even pretty big earthquakes. They happen a lot, but the ones you're gonna feel, they don't really happen that often. I think the one big natural disaster that you should be mindful of in San Diego is gonna be wildfire. We've definitely seen more of those, especially the last few years. Something to keep in mind in San Diego. Number 7 on my list was something I was highly aware of, and you may as well, but it's definitely worth pointing out. San Diego is a tourist town. There are so many things to do. I already mentioned like some of the amusement parks, like the zoo, SeaWorld, but there's so much other great stuff to do, especially like visiting Balboa Park where the San Diego Zoo is, but there's so much outside of the zoo to check out in Balboa as well, like the museums, there's restaurants up there. And heading down towards like downtown San Diego, like along the bay, you're gonna have Seaport Village, which is so much fun. There's gonna be boat tours that will take you around like the bay. It's just nice to be out on the water, have a little beverage, adult beverage if that's your thing, and just enjoy the day. But in addition to that, I mean, there's so many things set up for tourists. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Number 6 is kind of funny, but it's true.
Funny, because it's true.
A lot of people in San Diego tend to be very friendly. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the sunshine, but people just tend to be having a better day and they tend to be a little bit friendlier, I think, than some of the other cities and places I've been to are friendlier to other people than other places. Number 5 on the list, like me coming here 28 years ago, it wasn't as much on the map as it is now. Just like a lot of other cities and throughout the country, homelessness is definitely on the increase. So something to be aware of if you're gonna move here. The city of San Diego, I mean, they're trying to address the problem. The state of California is trying to address the problem. I don't know that anybody really has the answer. At number 4 on the list, I think San Diego in general, not everybody, but I think most people, the majority of people, not most people, are open to the idea and support like embracing like change and growth. So we've seen a lot of changes. Here's an example of what I mean. In the city, like downtown San Diego and some of the surrounding communities like North Park, University Heights, there's a big new emphasis on trying to get more people on their bicycles, get a few less cars on the road. Number 3 is gonna be like locals, like hidden gems, like things like the locals know that other people don't know, places to go, places to relax, restaurants, things like that. There are so many fun things and new things that I find about San Diego almost every day. I mean, it's incredible. Number 2 on my list is gonna be the coastal communities along San Diego. I don't think a lot of them, or there are a few that get a lot of attention, but a lot of them don't. There's gonna be great places to visit. The ones that everybody knows about are gonna be like Pacific Beach, La Jolla. I mean, a lot of people have heard of those, but people all the time, unless you live here, you don't hear that much about them. Like downtown Carlsbad is amazing, great restaurants, super fun to visit. The downtown Encinitas area is great. Del Mar, a lot of people have heard of Del Mar, especially because of the racetrack, but the Del Mar area near the ocean, super nice, like great restaurants as well, like super fun places to hang out. And number 1 on my list, I wish I had somebody say this and reassure me, I mean, San Diego, I think for the most part, does live up to the hype.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Just keep in mind, it's not the least expensive place to live by far. There are a lot of great places to live, but just like anywhere else, I mean, there's gonna probably be a few places that at least I would probably skip. I think if you're considering moving to San Diego, do your research, reach out to anybody you might know that lives in San Diego, can give you good like first-hand advice. I mean, I'm usually available. All in, I don't think you'd be disappointed at all in San Diego. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said before, if you need any help moving to, from, or within San Diego or information about that, don't be shy about reaching out to me. My contact information is going to be down in the description. And if you enjoyed this content, putting it out at least once a week, subscribe. Have an amazing day.